Maverick Lobe in the house here in LA.
Yeah, happy to be here. Happy to see you, Alberto.
Yeah, a lot of years. Just telling people in the gym how many years actually it's been. Like so many Saturday mornings training, and you always taking care of us with whether it be those IV bags, and you're always like on the cutting edge of just learning things and for rejuvenation and what do you call it, anti-aging things,
Yes.
performance things.
Yeah.
Always helping us out with jiu-jitsu because we're like a fighter's gym, right? Like everybody pretty much competed or did something or even fighting, right? In MMA
Yes.
in those
Yeah.
early days.
Lots of injuries.
Lots of interest.
That was one of the main things that inspired me to really pursue more regenerative medicine was my own journey and my friends' journeys. And we were all injured all the time. So
We didn't know about recovery and those.
right,
those
exactly.
things.
Yeah. It was, 30 years ago it was different back then.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I had no idea that you knew Amal, that you went to acupuncture school with him.
Yes. Yeah.
I was like, wow, I had no idea.
Maul was one semester in front of me, and Andrew Kahn was one semester behind me.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And you had heard about this jiu-jitsu stuff.
I didn't hear anything about it until after graduation. I heard them all went to Brazil
Yeah.
with Alberto Crane. And that was, I was like, wow, is he crazy?
Yeah.
Giving up his career to pursue this sport. And
This jiu-jitsu thing.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'd been a boxer in Canada, so
You had a combat background.
I thought boxing was the thing, and nothing could be as good as that. And I was so shocked when I found out about it.
Did you watch the early EFCs?
I did. Yeah. Yeah, the number one with Hoisey. Yeah.
Very Gracie.
Yeah.
We got a picture of him right here.
Uh-huh.
Armbarring somebody, right?
Uh-huh.
Did you see the guy with the one boxing glove in one of the UFCs?
Yes. Yeah.
Just for reference, just by the way, those are like we're talking about the 1990s, this is like the mid, like 96-ish, 95
Yes. Yeah.
era that you were in acupuncture school.
Yeah. Yeah. I graduated in 95. That was the year my daughter was born.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So even before that, 94, 95,
Yes.
93,
Yeah.
wow.
I think 93 is when I started. Yeah. Yeah.
And so how did you finally find jiu-jitsu or do a class? Did you train with them all ever?
I did not. I was working out of a guy's, I had a suite rented where I was working. And the owner of the house came to me one day and he said, "Hey, I went to a jiu-jitsu class and these monsters were all over the place." And I was intrigued by how he described everything. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go give this a try. And so one day I went in there and I think actually you showed me the, bump, escape from mount and reverse. And there I was in an open mat on a Saturday. And that first day I dislocated my arm.
No way.
I got choked out, unconscious. It was a revelation. And since that day, I was in love. I never stopped. Yeah.
I remember you kind of beginning, but things are blurry, right? I just remember you were working on Val Kilmer, and you sent Val Kilmer to come in and check out the gym. And they got Maverick sent me over, and he was Top Gun wasn't that far away in those days, right?
Yeah.
So and he was in all the other movies that he was a part of, right? Batman,
yeah. Yeah. So I was working with Val at the time, and I was.
That was a reference for me, of the time, the beginning of Maverick Lobe, his jiu-jitsu journey.
Yeah, yeah, it's been magical.
Wow. So mid 90s or early, whenever it was, you heard about it, and then when I came back from Brazil, I started the school in 2000, and you were right there in 2000.
Yes,
you're one of the early students, and man, we used to train every Saturday. used to train every Saturday. I remember that. Like
Yeah.
we used to train for hours.
Hours, yes.
And then I remember you would take care of us after always. We'd be, you know, depleted from training hard all week. And then
Yeah.
like, hey, I got you. Or come and see me. You know, you're doing body work and, you know, everything that you can do to
Yes.
acupuncture and whatever you can do to help people, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Love what I do for regenerative medicine. And jiu-jitsu has been such an amazing journey because even after, 27 years, 28 years of doing jiu-jitsu, it's like it's my first day every time because it's always something new. And it's just a magical journey.
Yeah, I feel the same. It's crazy. Like it's always something new, always something fresh, never stops.
Yeah.
You know, we're doing some little techniques in the bottom, and I'm always learning even from lower ranked guys. Right, they're always teaching.
Yes.
So it's
And no matter how bad of the day you're having, no matter how bad your life is, an hour of jiu-jitsu really puts things into perspective.
it's never as bad as it seems, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Puts things in perspective, even if you're smashing somebody, beating somebody, right? And one wrong move, and you end up on bottom, and
you're the one getting smashed. Yes.
yeah, which makes you a better person, right? In the big picture.
Yeah. It's the most humility I've ever learned as jiu-jitsu, on a daily basis.
Yeah, you've been competing now for how long? Because everybody pretty much competed back in those days, right?
Yeah. Since I was a blue belt, I did my first tournament with you at Grappler's Quest as a white belt. In both gi and no gi.
Was it in Vegas?
Yes. And
Those are those that, you know, always kind of go back to those times because now they have the Master Worlds and all these big tournaments at the main convention center. But back in those days, all those tournaments, it was in a high school.
Yeah,
that's
high
how
school
much
gym.
jiu-jitsu people there were, right, compared to now.
Yeah. So I competed starting as a white belt, but then blue belt, I went to Pan Am's, competed Pan Am's, purple belt, Pan Am's, brown belt, Pan Am's, and then I'm still on my black belt quest.
Yeah. And it's been amazing, man, to watch you over these years. You're 6 years old.
Yeah.
It's just like I'm like, what? No, like I thought, like, okay, 53, 54, I'm pushing. I know you weren't, but like that's crazy. Just your health and your wellness and your everything. Like really like leading by example of just doing the right things and living a good life, right?
Yeah, I've tried to, I've always been a nutrition, conscious of nutrition and whole foods and pretty clean lifestyle, but I'm just blessed. I'm just thankful every day that I'm healthy and I can do what I do.
Yeah. Dr. Maverick always takes care of us, but we're really lucky because you take care of us, right? But there's people that, like you're well sought out. People come from all over to come see you, They fly in from all over to see you, and you always make time for us. You're like, I got you. Just come this time.
Yeah.
So I appreciated that.
Yeah. We're at the clinic. My wife and I run the clinic, and it's a small clinic. But we see people flying from Alaska, all over the place to get treated.
Yeah.
So it's an honor.
I've flown in to get stem cells from you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember one of the first things I tell people, like I walked out and, I used to have sensitivity to light, just like whatever, just bright light. And then as soon as I got those stem cells, I wasn't sensitive anymore.
Excellent.
I don't know. So can you talk a little bit about stem cells and the benefits and?
Yeah. Well, in regenerative medicine, it's not a new thing. We've been doing basically stem cells for 15 years now. I'm a fan of autologous stem cells. They come from your own body.
Okay.
So
Rather than the umbilical cord
yeah,
stem
the
cells?
umbilical cord, there's been some controversy, but they're getting better for sure. I think umbilical cord cells are higher quality from other countries because there's less government restrictions with that. But stem cells, they have mesenchymal stem cells, which are like your own stem cells, so they can rebuild any tissue in the body. And it's like really injecting the fountain of youth, because it just, your body knows what to do with them, so you put them in the right spot, and they can create whatever tissue that you're trying to heal. So it's an amazingly simple process, and it goes back to ancient times. Back in Roman days when they were throwing javelins at the early Olympics, when they would tear their bicep tendon, they would stick a red hot charcoal poker in there and heal their bicep tendons. So that was kind of the beginning of healing through a direct injury into the body. And then as time went on, we progressed into using regenerative products like blood, stem cells, to actually start growing new collagen in there, rather than just let your body heal the injury. So,
yeah, I've gotten PRP from you. I've gotten Prolotherapy from you for years.
yeah.
Could you talk a little bit about both of those things?
Yeah. Well, Prolotherapy has been around the longest. Hemwall was the original doctor with that in the early 1900s. And that is just injecting an irritant into the tissue, and then your body will come in and repair that, whatever that irritant is.
It's different sometimes, or it's like, I thought it was like a sugar solution or something like that?
They use different products. They use cod liver oil, dextrose.
Okay.
So different products, but really dextrose is kind of the standard, the sugar water with vitamin B12. That's your standard prolotherapy. And then dentists have been using PRP for 40 years now.
Wow.
For regenerating jaws, for jaw growth, for the bone growth, and also to repair gums.
Okay.
So somehow it transitioned into mainstream medicine or alternative medicine, and now we're using that product for growing new tissue in the body. So, and that again, the PRP in itself has around 500,000 mesenchymal stem cells per treatment. So you're getting your own live stem cells, plus you're getting all kinds of building blocks within the PRP to repair the tissue and signal regenerative factors for the body to come in and heal it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, because you think of the injection of the stem cells by your own blood. The process, you take the blood out, you spin it, right?
Yes. Yeah. Spin it, concentrate the platelets, and then those concentrated platelets are where all the mesenchymal stem cells, cytokines, and cell markers are to introduce healing and produce collagen.
What are you? I mean, you the shoulders, the knees are like a really common place, right?
Yeah, shoulders, knees, but primarily low backs, cervical spines. So lumbar spines, cervical spines, those really respond well to PRP. Usually a couple treatments, you'll take someone who can't even hardly walk anymore.
Wow. Or
they can't even get on the treatment table. And after 2 or 3 treatments, sometimes 1, they're out of pain.
Wow.
It's miraculous.
Wow. Yeah. It's another alternate solution, right?
Yes.
That definitely is worth looking into.
Yeah. And it rebuilds the knee, repairs rotator cuff tears that aren't complete. So if it's a partial rotator cuff tear or partial labral tear, PRP can fix that without any problem.
And I remember the old guys back in the day, John is Borth, right?
Yes.
And just all a bunch of the guys, they swore by the Prolotherapy for their knees.
Mm-hmm.
Is that one of the biggest ones you've done for like Prolotherapy? Do you use the whole different parts of the body as well?
Prolo too. Low backs, necks. Yeah, Prolo can work wherever PRP works. So really,
it's just a different process, right?
Different process. Yes. Yeah. They say that one PRP treatment is equal to 5 Prolotherapy treatments.
Oh, okay.
Because instead of just introducing sugar water or something that's going to cause an inflammatory process in the body, you're actually introducing medicine or your own body's medicine to fix that tear. So, and one of the big problems we have, particularly in the United States, is as soon as we have pain or we're sore, we take anti-inflammatories. And as soon as you introduce an anti-inflammatory to the body, it stops your own body's healing process. So if your knee is sore and a little bit swollen, rather than taking an anti-inflammatory for it, it's better to let your body heal that. Because it takes, after an injury, it takes 3 weeks for your body to go through a process to try and repair that tissue. But if you take ibuprofen the day after the injury, it stops that entire healing process. So in Europe, people don't take anti-inflammatories. It's really, they have a much more conscious awareness of the body's healing ability.
Man, I took ibuprofen almost pretty much every day for like 12, 13 years.
Yeah.
Just to kind of, because I never stopped training, I never stopped competing.
Right.
I was out there just to deal with the pain and the injuries, right?
Yeah.
And to keep going.
Yeah. Well, we thought it was good.
Well, I know it wasn't good for the stomach, right? But like,
Right.
I don't know. I knew afterwards, my whole body ached, right? My whole body ached. Every single joint in my body ached.
Yeah. Yeah.
And thank God, like, I found TAC Fit and just the movement stuff that I started to do, and it started to go away. And I haven't taken one pill of ibuprofen ever since I started doing TAC Fit.
Mm-hmm.
I take a lot of pride in that too,
Yeah.
But wow, like just the damage that just taking those things can do, right?
Yeah. Yes.
It's not irreversible, right? You can do stuff.
Well, it's not irreversible.
But
yeah.
just to have that knowing that can happen, right?
Yes. And after prolonged anti-inflammatory use, your body has to relearn how to deal with inflammation. So there's a process of re-educating the body, but it finds its homeostasis really quickly after that. But like you say, you ached all over. So
yeah, every single joint, I had no twist. I couldn't move my body. Yeah. Everything hurt, to move. I could still compete and win.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu though.
Yeah.
But the rest of the day wasn't good.
Yeah.
It's crazy, huh? How our brain and body and spirit works, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's all tied in together too. So yeah.
How did you get into, you became an acupuncturist. How did you get into just, this kind of work? What was the process?
When I was 16, my dad had a serious heart attack. He was 38.
Wow.
And he had been a professional boxer, tough guy. And of course, he was my idol. And when I saw that, I was just devastated. And I personally drove him to the hospital.
How old are you at the time?
I was 18.
Okay.
So drove him to the hospital. He barely survived that heart attack. And there was nowhere for him to get help. There was just the hospital, and they sent him home, and there was just no. And of course, I was in Canada, in Alberta, Canada.
Alberta, Canada. I was going to ask you.
But
we just thought you said Canada, and I never even asked you.
Okay,
where in Canada. I just pictured you chopping down trees and making fire with those big old forearms and hands.
So so yeah, I took him to the hospital. Half his heart was dead,
Wow.
and it took him 4 years to recover. And he did. We lived a healthy lifestyle, went on a diet, quit smoking, quit drinking, quit chewing tobacco. But he started doing all that stuff again. But there was no real resource for natural medicine in Canada at that time. So I said, I need to dedicate my life to try and help people find a different solution than just being sick and living their lifestyle like this. So that's really what got me on the path to healing.
What was the first step? What was the first thing that you did and part of the journey?
First thing I did, I was a boxer in Canada. I wanted to impress my dad and show him I could do that, and I got beat up all the time. And so I started getting massage because I couldn't move like you.
Yeah.
And something happened to me when I was getting massage. Something spiritually transformed me. So that was the first thing I did. I went to massage school, and it just opened up a whole new realm of possibilities, and that was it. Then I wanted to do more. I was limited to what I could do with massage, so I went to acupuncture school.
That's how you ended up in Santa Fe?
Yes, yeah. I actually ended up in Santa Fe to go to massage school.
Oh, massage school.
Yes.
Okay.
And so I was even there prior to acupuncture school. So then when I graduated from there, I was like, well, this is really good. I can make people feel good, but I need to be able to get into the body and actually change the dynamic. So that's how I ended up going to acupuncture school. And then graduated acupuncture school and was very busy in my practice. But again, there was this need to do more with my patients. So I kept studying, and actually through my own injury in jiu-jitsu, I went and got prolotherapy on my neck. And I went to an orthopedic surgeon. They said, I had to sleep with my arm up in the air, and if I put my arm down, I had lightning going down. So they said, you need to have your neck fused, and you'll never do jiu-jitsu again. And I knew about this guy doing prolotherapy, so I went to him. Within 2 treatments, the pain in my arm was gone. 3 months later, I went to Pan Am's and competed. So that was my journey. And then I said, okay, this is what I'm meant to do. So I started to study prolotherapy back then.
Yeah, you were one of the first. Well, yeah, you introduced me to all these different things.
Yeah.
First person that I heard about it with.
Yeah.
And then I would always just ask you, as, hey, Maverick, what do you think about this? I would call you up, and you'd always help me out.
Yeah.
Because I moved away too, right? So you'd always be like, okay, yeah, that's good, that's not good.
Right. Yeah, so that's at least 20 years ago I started studying
Prolotherapy.
Yeah.
And then you started to expand into what was the next? What were the next?
Yeah, after prolotherapy, PRP came along.
Uh-huh.
Then the umbilical cord stem cells came along, and of course now you can, it's illegal to manipulate your own cells outside of the body in the United States. So now they have clinics in Panama and Colombia,
Mexico.
Mexico.
Like my friends in Tijuana, right?
Exactly, yeah, where you can go and culture your own cells, grow them, and then re-inject them in your body. So, yeah.
Yeah, things have evolved, huh?
Yeah.
But they've been around too, right, for a while, but
Yes.
They've gotten better.
Yes. Yeah, it's getting better. The process is getting better, and the stem cells are getting cleaner, and it's really I think it's the new way of medicine. Mm-hmm. So,
what are some of the injuries you've had along the way in jiu-jitsu? Talk to me. Talk to us. Let us know.
Yeah.
And what did you do about them?
Yeah.
Because I just asked you downstairs. I'm like, how you doing? How's everything? He's like, man, I'm great.
Yeah.
I'm 60 years old. I'm a beast. I'm doing great.
Well, okay. So I've broken my toes, not all of them, but most of them. But there's not much you can do with that. Dislocated, sprained my ankles. So I've had my ankles injected with PRP. I tore my right ACL doing scissors on someone's head.
I felt those before. God.
And so I've
So
been
strong.
treating my knees with PRP, and my hips are supposed to be worn out bone on bone. So I was supposed to have hip replacements about 20 years ago. So every year I inject my hips 4 or 5 times, and they're 100%. I can still jog.
Wow.
They're still completely.
You inject them with what?
With PRP.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I need to set up.
Yeah.
I need to start flying into Santa Fe to come see you.
So
or get you out here and there.
Yeah. My low back's been, of course, injured, so I've had that injected multiple times, and my neck has been injured.
Yeah.
I probably had 30, 40 treatments on my neck of PRP. Elbows, of course, medial epicondyles, lateral epicondyles, so tennis and golfer elbow, and torn rotator cuffs. But PRP has fixed everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, because my elbows are so unstable, both of them, especially
Yes.
my right one.
Yeah.
That my stronger one, my one that I use the most. I do a plank or I do some kind of movement, and it's like clicking in and out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's all the things I treat on myself, and that's why I can do what I do today.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a testimonial.
Yeah. So I grew up tough. I was a boxer.
Yeah.
I worked in the bush as a logger. I was an auto body mechanic. So it was, I didn't sit playing on my phone.
Yeah.
Of course, we didn't have that back then. So.
Yeah. So how many years of jiu-jitsu have you done now?
My daughter's 29, going on 30 in January, so 28 years.
Yeah. Because we started officially the gym. We had a group that was training, right? Like the Jay Haydens and the different people.
Yes.
But we started the gym in 2000. So like this year, the end of this year, it's 25 years.
Okay.
For legacy Santa Fe, right? So yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. You were there pretty much since the beginning. Like Gil and these guys, I kind of consider them like older brothers, right? Because I was a kid and they were older, and they always kind of took care of me and supported me in my endeavors, and cheered me on and I had them as training partners as well as yourself,
Right.
Once I started the school in 2000.
Yeah. No, I've been at it a long time.
We've had a lot of guys come through Santa Fe too, right? Like pretty well-known guys. It's small. Santa Fe has had 60,000 people. It's a little bit bigger now.
Yeah, I think it's around 100 now.
Okay, 100,000 people.
Yeah.
And not too many surrounding cities, right? So it's like kind of like not a lot of people.
Yeah.
Desert.
Yeah, and you had some really famous jiu-jitsu guys come to you when they were brown belts.
Yeah.
And then they went on to, major fame. So
Yeah.
there's been a lot of talent through Santa Fe because of you.
Yeah. I always trained hard and did a lot of things. Took the guys all over to compete, right? Brazil, or you've been to Brazil too. Your nickname is RoboCop in Brazil, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I went to the Worlds there. Yeah.
Yeah, the Master Worlds used to be in Brazil, right?
Yes.
So those were the Master Worlds. It was called, back in the day, it was called Masters and Seniors International,
Okay.
right?
Yes. Yeah.
Now it's okay. Like, let's call it Master Worlds, and it's actually the biggest tournament in the world, right?
Yes. Was there 4,000 or 5,000 people there this year?
And there was 11,000 people because they had that Jiu-Jitsu Con as well. So it was over 11,000 people.
Wow. That's amazing.
Some people are joking like, hey, the gi's dead, right? Because the ADCC and all the attention that's getting.
Right.
Like, just kidding. It's packed in here.
Right.
You saw how many people
Yeah.
were over there.
So in my division now, it used to be I'd go to a tournament, there'd be like 5 guys, 6 guys, maybe 8 guys if it's busy, for a major tournament. And in my last tournament, there were 18 people in my
Yeah.
bracket.
Yeah.
That's just phenomenal.
Yeah. And everybody's pretty high level. They're all good.
All good. Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool too. Like you've gotten to compete against like some icons of jiu-jitsu and MMA, the MMA world, right? Along the way too.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. It's pretty cool. Where you're just a student and you're in New Mexico, right? And then you get to go compete against these like icons of the sport.
Yes.
Can't say that for a lot of different other sports, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I even treated lots of people from Albuquerque, you know, Rashad
Evans,
the group there back in the day. So, yeah.
Yeah, that became Albuquerque, right? New Mexico became a hotbed for MMA,
Right.
right, for a lot of years.
Yeah. Yes.
George St. Pierre, John Jones, like all these guys came through there, right?
Yeah.
Were based out of there actually
Right.
for a lot of years.
Yeah. Yeah. So definitely an iconic place.
So you've been all these years. What are some of the things that, like highlights that you know, looking back now, right? For 30 years or whatever, close to 30 years of being on the mat and training, and the brotherhood, the relationships. What are some of the highlights that you think about when you look back?
Wow. That's such a big question, you know. I mean, going to Brazil to train was really a highlight. Just seeing the real deal there.
Back in those days, right, too, because everything was still there.
Yeah, yeah,
The worlds, everything was still there at that time. So those are the early days,
yeah.
like raw.
So just seeing the roots there, and really the highlight for me is the humility I get all the time. Like, it's just so, it just puts you in your place. You know, there's no real bullshit with this. It's just, you know, you can talk all you want, but you get there on the mat and there you are. And so it's humility for me, and just being, humble.
In your life, it's made you a better person because
Yes.
of that one.
Every day. Yeah.
I feel the same with me.
Yeah. And not only with jiu-jitsu, but with my patients. I learn something from every treatment I do. And so I think jiu-jitsu helps me to keep that open mind where I learn all the time. So, yeah. So I guess learning and humility and being open to always learning.
That's everything right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Not acting like you know it all, right? And I can't have nothing else to learn.
Yeah. It's not the case.
What about the I mentioned relationships and stuff, because I asked Coyce Gracie, I've asked some other Saul Ribeiro and some of these guys, and all of them say the relationships, the friendships and stuff.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on?
Well,
So there's so many people, so many just like connections, right? So many you've passed so many adventures, memories with over the years.
Yeah. I mean, my training partners, I've trained with them for 20 years. Well over 25 years now.
Yeah.
26, 27. It's just like they're like your brothers.
Yeah.
They're like part of your family. It's amazing. So, my best friends and are my training partners. Get on the mat, beat each other up, and there's nothing better.
Yeah.
So, it's a real brotherhood.
Boxing, right? Boxing. Yeah, you kind of stop boxing when you get overall, like competitively, you get to compete still, right? At a really high level.
Right, right. As a boxer, you can't continue that. I had my nose broken 4 or 5 times, and I've had 3 surgeries, and it breaks too easy. So, and getting punched in the head's not that good for you.
But jiu-jitsu, like, you can do it. Yeah, you get some joint things and different things.
Yeah.
But obviously, you have solutions for that, right? You can
I
help
do.
them out. Fly into Santa Fe. Go see Dr. Maverick.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think other sports too, right? Like jiu-jitsu as a lifestyle, like, I don't know. I don't see any, wrestling is amazing. I've been falling in love with wrestling as a sport. It's amazing. Judo, I love it. But jiu-jitsu, you can do like at a pretty high level, like your whole life,
Right.
till the end. Like we have Savage, he's like 80 years old almost.
Yeah.
He's on the mats, he's on the mats and doing stuff, training and being a part.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's really, you can take it, well into your 70s, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'll find out.
You're right there. Oh my God, all of us. Where did the time go?
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing.
It's like 25 years, end of this year, it's 25 years of legacy, right? And yeah, that's some time, right? That's a lot of years, a lot of tournaments, a lot of coaching, a lot of teaching, a lot of just everything, right? Life.
Yeah. Yeah. And you look back and it was like yesterday. It seemed like it wasn't that long ago that it all happened. But here we are.
Yeah, last time you came here was you said 10 years ago?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like it, right?
Yeah.
Seems like a year ago or 2 years ago. But then you add the pandemic and stuff into it, and
Right.
kind of skews the time, right?
The chronology of life, yeah.
It's cool. I get to see it in Florida, right? The Orlando,
That's
the
right.
Pans and Master Worlds, and yeah, it's amazing, man. When the Pans were here in Irvine and California,
Right.
It's like a family reunion, right? As well, those kinds of
It is.
tournaments.
It is like a reunion, yeah. Yeah. See all your old friends and
Competitors and stuff of yours, right? Over the years, have become like friends, right? Too, like brothers as well. I remember when I was younger, like competing against, like other teams and stuff, you were like kind of like enemies, and I hate that guy, or whatever. There's animosity, but as you've gotten older, as I've gotten older, you're so grateful for these guys because these guys brought out the best in you, right? And you realize too that even when you were younger, these guys are really brought out the best in you. There's just such a deep respect and love that you have for all your opponents as you get older, and even as you're competing in different master divisions as well, because you realize what that actually does, right, for you.
Right. And as masters, I think we all go through the same things, injuries, your illness in your family, illness with you, and so we all have this experience in life, and to be able to still show up and do what we do is just magical. So, yeah.
What has kept you in New Mexico all these years?
Oh, I love Santa Fe. I love the mountains, the clean air. I met my beautiful wife there, and it's just heavenly there. It's a slow lifestyle.
Yeah.
It only takes 10 or 15 minutes to get anywhere you need to go.
Yeah.
And the people are amazing there. So, yeah. And I grew up in a town of 3,000 people.
Okay.
So
feels like home then.
I like those little places. Yeah.
Do you ever go back to Canada?
I did a lot to visit my mom and dad, and since they've passed, I haven't been going back. But my son lives in Vancouver, so yeah, I go visit him at least once a year. So, yeah. I love Canada, but it's just too cold.
I've been there a couple of times in the winter time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's a different kind of cold too.
It
Vancouver's
is.
not that crazy, but
No.
but some of the other places.
Where I grew up, it was 40 or 50 below zero, for like a month at a time.
Right, right.
And it was just crazy. So, your car seats freeze in that kind of temperature. It's not just cold. It'll kill you, that cold.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, Maverick, thank you so much for for the person you are, everything you've done for me. Our team always, they just always taking care of us from the heart. We always felt the love and the care you had for us, and it elevated us all.
Thank you.
Made us like we wanted to win, and we were like just a unit, with you. So it's invaluable person.
Well, thank you. And you guys have done that for me too. You take me to a higher place all the time. So it's a reciprocal relationship.
Yeah. And I look forward to you winning Black Belt World Championship
Thank you. That's my goal.
very soon.
Yeah, that's my bucket list.
Yeah, you're going to do it. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll be there.
Great.
How can people find you?
drmaverick.com.
There we go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.